Welcome back to the Morning Lift with Marv on Air. Today is Friday, February 10th, 2023, and we got a lot of sports to cover. So before we hop into that, be sure, like, subscribe, check out all our other socials. We're trying to grow this channel up. Every ounce of support is appreciated, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it because we do have a lot to cover in this quick video. So today's lifts, we've got the NFL award ceremony, and right in hand with that, the Hall of Fame was announced as well last night. The NBA trade deadline was absolute chaos, so we can't not talk about that. And in that same hand, we got the Super Bowl preview. How can we not talk about the Super Bowl? It's in like 2 days. Like, I know it's beat to death at this point, but what are we going to do? Not talk about the Super Bowl? We got 6 months to not talk about the Super Bowl. So we're going to touch on that as well. All right, so we're going to start with the NFL awards. MVP, Patrick Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Offensive Rookie and Defensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, respectively. The coach, Brian Daboll of the Giants. And comeback player, Geno Smith. So let's go right down the list. MVP, Patrick Mahomes, ran away with this one. I did not think it was that, I thought it should have been closer, basically. Jalen Hurts came out of the woodwork and showed the Eagles really are a team. Obviously, they're in the Super Bowl, so that's pretty obvious. But there was a time where they thought, oh, this is going to be like, this is just the system. Like, Jalen Hurts isn't that good. It's really just the way that Nick Sirianni is running this team. And then they put in Gardner, and they went 0-2. So to me, actually, that values Jalen Hurts more. Some people will say, oh, he didn't play all his games. He doesn't have as good numbers as Patrick. Well, the fact that he didn't play and they lost both those games proves he's more valuable to the team than Patrick is. Well, I'm not saying Patrick's not valuable to the Chiefs, but you know where I'm coming from. Okay, Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. I'm glad he won at least something. In my opinion, he has a very good conversation for MVP as well. It's just unfortunate, in my opinion, that Patrick Mahomes ran away with the votes the way he did. Nick Bosa winning Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, at least the 49ers won something, right? Like, they have been salty all week, just pounding on the Eagles, which I've never seen from a team that lost in the divisional round. Granted, they didn't have any quarterbacks, but still bizarre to see. So I guess we're glad that the 49ers won something. And then both of the rookie positions were won by Jets players, which is interesting to say the least. The Jets, I think, were one of the least adequately rated teams this year because they were so up and down, right? They'd have really good stretches, and then they ended the year with a complete crapshoot, and Zach Wilson just took the whole organization and gave it one of his pro day throws into the dumpster. It was an absolute crapshoot is really the only way to put it. And I think they have a lot of young talent to be looking forward to in the future. So this is proof. And as a Patriots fan, we obviously had to witness it firsthand. But I don't know. I like both those guys. I really do. So I have no problems with that. Coach Brian Daboll. I didn't see the votes on this one. I would assume Nick Sirianni was close behind. I like Brian Daboll here. Not that it really matters what I do and don't like, but I think it's fair. And comeback player of the year. This is where a lot of conversation is right now. Geno Smith obviously wasn't injured last year, just kind of stunk. Got traded to a different team, played unbelievably well. Okay, I'm not discrediting Geno at all, but we do need to talk about potentially splitting this up into an improved player and a comeback player, because guys that are injured, in my opinion, should not be getting beat out by guys that just stunk. Okay, that's just how it should be. I think we need to have two different categories. Maybe a C-Mac should win this, like this comeback player of the year, and then Geno wins the most improved. That's just how I think it should be. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or not. Next, Hall of Fame. We got a couple of inductees, obviously. All of them got inducted. Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Don Coryell as a coach contributor, Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, and Ken Riley are all seniors there at the bottom. And this is a pretty loaded class, I'm not going to lie to you, but it is missing, in my opinion, one guy, Devin Hester. What is this guy not doing? I think it's his third eligibility, and he still didn't make it. I don't know. That's just unacceptable. No one's crediting special teams. We saw Pat McAfee get inducted into the Hall of Fame, or what is it, where like he's eligible or whatever. They're like looking at him. That's at least a nod, but the fact that Devin Hester can't seem to get in there, in my opinion, is just kind of disgraceful to way he changed the game and what he brought to the special teams side of football, which was it's just a different kind of the game. Like, it's what makes the game special. All right, now, for the trade deadline, I didn't touch on the Hall of Fame a lot because I don't think most people really care unless it's like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady. So, but for the trade deadline, that's Rocky. We'll get to that in a second. We've got an unbelievable amount of trades to talk about. They're all right here on your right, my left. And boy, oh boy, there's some big ones. You can read through them right now if you want to see individually where everyone's at. This is not every single trade. This is just the trade deadline day. So the box on the left is like where they are now, and the box on the right is where they were. So Jacob Poeltl, Kevin Durant, we got Patrick Beverley was moved as well. Lots of movement in the NBA. Now, what does this mean? I don't know yet. Kevin Durant could really succeed in Phoenix, but we also saw them trade away pretty much their whole bench. So if he doesn't get it done out on the floor, I don't really know if they'll have the means to back up, keep themselves in the game. We saw Kyrie go to the Mavs. That's not on this graphic. I think that might be the biggest trade. A lot of people are talking about Kevin Durant, but I think Kyrie gets the Mavs over that hump more than KD gets the Suns over that hump, in my opinion. Kyrie's a generational talent. Not to say that KD's not, but Luka right there with him. I think Devin Booker's severely overrated, and Chris Paul is like 95 years old, has this unbelievable talent of just taking teams that are supposed to be good and tanking them. So I'm sure they'll go out in the second round after leading by 3 in the series. So I can't put a lot of faith in them. They're kind of like the Cowboys for me. When I see the Cowboys are in the playoffs, I automatically assume they're going to be out by the divisional round. That's just me though. Let me know if you think that's kind of the same thing going on there. That's just me. But I do like the Mavs-Suns rivalry that is kind of spawning, because we saw Luka and Devin just kind of hate each other, and now with Kyrie and Kevin, I don't know, like the level of play in this rivalry is certainly elevated. That is for sure. We saw Kyrie in his post-game presser after just beating the Clippers say, "Hey, I'm glad that Kevin Durant got out of Brooklyn. We're glad to be moved on. We can finally play each other some more." We're looking at potentially the first matchup in 5 years where Kevin Durant will be facing LeBron. Right? A lot of great things came out of this trade deadline. It was just so chaotic I could barely even keep up. I had a lot of fun, with all the graphics. Pat Bev went to the Lakers, or no, not Pat Bev. Who's the? Was it? Yeah. No, Pat Bev was at the Lakers. D'Lo came in, and then Pat Bev got traded to the Magic, I believe. Yes, from Mo Bamba. So the Lakers could be making some moves at a postseason run. I definitely think that's the right thing they had to do, getting rid of Russell Westbrook, and then they just need to hope that Davis stays healthy. And now, if any of you guys in the comments are saying, "What an idiot, this guy doesn't know NBA at all," you're right. I'm not a big NBA guy. I'm a much bigger NFL guy. But you know what? We're trying to broaden our horizons, so sorry. But last thing we got to talk about here is the Super Bowl preview, okay? We're going to go ahead and throw this guy back up. We kind of alluded to him earlier. This is the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. And guess what that is on his chest? A Travis Kelce jersey. I don't actually know if it's Travis Kelce, but it is certainly a Chiefs jersey. And if any of you guys know, like the last 6 teams that have put their team jersey on Rocky have lost. So, there's a lot of trends in the Super Bowl. I think it's like the last 7 of the last 8 teams that wore white have won the Super Bowl. I think 8 of the last 8 teams that won the coin toss have lost the Super Bowl. Personal prediction, I'm thinking the Eagles by at least 4. I think it's gonna be close though. I don't know. There are reports coming out that Chris Jones has said he is dealing with the flu, some congestion. Other players on the Chiefs are as well. Does this mean the Chiefs are going to fall off the wagon? No. Does it mean they might not be at 100%? Maybe if they're only at 99.5%, that 0.5% matters, okay? So keep an eye out for that if you're maybe in the gambling world, or if you're trying to watch it from a different perspective. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. Like I said before, be sure to like and subscribe down below. It really helps the channel out. And be sure to tune back in on Monday for our next morning lift. Peace.